Morning, folks. Today we're gonna try and get I got an old International 2+2 tractor. I need to get ready for spring disking, so we're gonna go see if we can get it started. So I noticed my baler tire went flat over the winter, so I'm gonna have to fill that up with air. We'll deal with that right now, and then maybe go start the 2+2. The 2+2 is a good old tractor. We'll give you a shot of it here in a bit. So we're getting the tire filled up right now. I'd be lost without the old Ford service truck. I sure rely on that, everything on that. Seems like every time I go to do something, I have 10 other things to do. This is a pretty good old baler. LB34B, a little 3x4 baler. Eventually I'm going to have to replace this baler tire. Seems like every time I come out here, the dang thing's going low or flat. Seems to hold air during the summer, but probably going to have to replace it this spring. Anyway, we're about there. I put about 35 PSI in this. Maybe I'll put a little bit more since it's going flat so quick. All right, so I think we got the tire filled up okay. Pressure is 35, we'll just leave it there. My dang compressor, I think the carburetor started leaking. Every time, I'm telling you, every time we start in the spring, I have to fix about everything. Maybe that's just part of farming. Yeah, I noticed my gas leaking out of my flow. I'll probably have to get a new needle and seat for this. Never ends. Anyway, let's go over and get the 2+2 going. The original plan today was trying to get the International 2+2 3788 tractor started, start getting it serviced for spring. So I had this little C-Tech charger, and I really like it. It has a function on it where you can recondition batteries, and every year I just run them through the recondition. I think it just puts a pulse and breaks the sulfate off the battery. Anyway, it works really good. I'm pulling it off my little 6320, and then I'll put it over on the 2+2 and we'll recondition the battery on it. I like the old 2+2 tractors. We actually have two 3588s and this 3788. This one's just probably under 200 horse, 170 some odd. Anyway, it does a good job. It's a nice tractor. It's 80s vintage. They're fun to run. They actually turn more agile than you would think for the size of the tractor. Anyway, we'll go put the charger on it, try to get it fired up today. I was always told if you own one of these tractors, you need to own a stock in a grease company, because there's a lot of grease zerks on these where they pivot on the axles. We just keep them greased up. They're pretty good old tractors. Looks like the battery's pretty low. We'll just let it sit. Maybe we'll start it tomorrow. Actually, I think we're forecasting wind, so I'm going to reroute this so I can close the door and not have it ripped off. on these 2+2s. It's kind of unique. To check the oil, there's a lever in the front. You just pull it, the whole front of the hood releases. I think I got this old tractor out of Illinois, bought it online without even test driving it. It's been a good old tractor. All right, the oil looks fine. We'll check the antifreeze and everything later when we get the battery charged. I'll clean the air cleaner, and then we've got to grease up all the bearings on the disc. Right now it's way too wet to disc, but I'm going to take the 8400 John Deere off the baler, and we'll start ripping some alfalfa out. I think it does better when you plow it out, but it's quicker to rip it, so I'll just put the ripper on the 8400. This is the other side. Close the hood. And we'll wait till the battery's charged, then we'll give her see if she'll fire up in a few hours. I'm gonna remove the baler from the 8400. That usually takes me about 20 minutes, half hour. Anyway, we'll get that removed and then get the ripper put on the 8400 and get ready to rip some alfalfa. The batteries usually stay real up good in the 8400. They're more protected, and I think they're getting old in the old 3788. Anyway, we'll proceed to take the baler off. Pull the tractor up, pull the PTO apart, and then pull over to the shop and try to get the PTO off. I think my splines are screwed up on my PTO of the tractor. Okay folks, here's some of the problem I'm having. These PTOs have a collar you pull back, and there's a series of ball bearings in there that release. And I'm hoping that just one of them ball bearings is hung up over the winter. I should have took that off last fall, but I just cleaned it out and left it hooked to the tractor. Anyway, what I'm gonna do is spray a bunch of WD-40 in there, try to work it back and forth. I was gonna cut this guard off, and if I can't get it off, I'll cut it off. The reason I'm gonna have to cut it off is It's held on with a couple pins and a carriage bolt, and the carriage bolt's stripped. So I'll just have to cut that off and put a new bolt in if I put it back on. It's always kind of in the way. I probably ought to remove it. Sure what I'm going to do. I think I'll just take maybe a punch or something, or a chisel that open. I could just take the ring off, pull it forward. Maybe that's what I should do. There's a snap ring that you can take off. Pull that forward and then I can get it off. All right, I'm getting my little handy dandy Bauer die grinder or Dremel or whatever you want to call it. Problem I've got is the splines on the PTO on the tractor were wore. I had some kind of catastrophic failure. I didn't realize it. So I'm going to try and clean up the splines to get that PTO off. So sometimes on the farm, we do things we probably don't want to do. Anyway, what I did was I hooked a chain to that and just pulled it a little bit with the truck and it come right off. I'll show you the damage. I don't know if it's from that collar breaking or what, but it damaged the teeth. I wasn't going to get it off. I tried to clean it up. Now I can clean it up a little bit. I think it'll be fine. But there's quite a bit of wear where that collar broke. Anyway, we got that done. It took a lot longer than I thought. I don't know why, but I forgot that guard, all it does is swivel up and down. And I was going to cut it off like a dummy, but I have so many tractors, every once in a while I forget some of the stupid little features on them. So here's the flaw in the collar. I don't know if you can see that crack right there, but when that cracked all the way through, it allowed them ball bearings to not hold tight in the groove and work back and forth and wore out the splines on the tractor PTO. I cleaned them up with my Bauer Dremel. I'll try to, I'll see if the new PTO coupler fits on well. If it doesn't, I will have to replace the PTO shaft on the tractor. Hopefully I don't have to do that this season. Seems like there's always something that you have to do. Anyway, I will replace this and get it ready to go for spring. Thanks for watching.